Twitter named Sandy Peterson, at Sandy of Cthulhu. Okay, you should probably follow her. She's, or he's, whatever. Great. Pretty sure it's a girl, but it's great, and they have a really good post that I just need to show you. And sorry ahead of time if I fumble this, because it's well written and I'm not a very good reader or speaker, but I'm gonna try. There are two types of fictional power. In one, you show how your creation works and how it fits within the world. You don't need to explain everything. You have a dragon. You can say it flies and breathes fire, and your fans will accept it. But if you have your dragon teleport across the continent, an ability not normal to dragons, then they are within their rights to demand an explanation. Or you can say and I want your opinion on this, Shane, because you're an actual writer. Or you can say your gunfighter is the fastest in the West. After all, one must be the fastest, right? Now, if your creation is something novel, like Cthulhu, you need to explain a little more. Cthulhu is huge, immortal, and has vast, unknowable power. He is from another part of the universe, quote unquote. Then there is another type of power, where you just invent stuff for comic or dramatic effect, and don't justify it ever, like Dragon Ball Z, One Punch Man. Goku is unbeatable, and his power isn't explained because it's inexplainable and impossible. His ability to yell so loud it breaks time warps is just because he trained hard. It's on par with defeating Hitler's Blitzkrieg because you pulled out an Uno reverse card, or the lead tank in the column. It's nonsensical and silly, which is kind of the point. It's why we love stuff like One Punch Man, which I do like One Punch Man. For reasons that are dumb and whiny, I blame myself. It bugs me when someone says Goku can beat Dracula, or, I can't pronounce his name, Satima, whatever, can beat Cthulhu. I mean, I guess they could because that's how they're defined. It's an entirely different way of looking at things. Yes, Bugs Bunny could pants Cthulhu. So he'd have to bend over and pull up his shorts while Bugs hits Cthulhu on the head with a frying pan. Yeah, but I think Bugs Bunny might be the most powerful fictional character of all time, by the way. But understand from which source your fictional power emerges. You can say my gunfighter is the fastest in the West without question, but you can't say my gunfighter is so fast his bullets exceed the speed of light without either just turning him into a joke or making a feeble attempt at justifying it. This is why the whole idea of wheelchairs in Star Trek or DnD is dumb.
That's where we were going. Okay, yep. I was trying to figure that out.
It is canon that the wheelchair problem has been fixed in both universes. So you need to invent a reason for it not to be fixed. Such as when they said Kirk couldn't take the universal eyeball blood drug, Retinex, which meant he needed glasses for close-up work. Or Pike's body was so destroyed he would die in seconds without his support chair. Wizards, I don't know what the word is. You can't just accept a wheelchair. Oh, you can't just accept a wheelchair? It's on par with you accept dragons, but you can't accept a Ford Shelby Mustang in your fantasy world. You can accept wheelchairs, or I guess Shelbys, but you must justify it because it's from beyond that world. Fight me.
100% right here. What's her name again?
Sandy.
Sandy is 100% right in this case. Every universe has its own rules. And if you are somebody who's creating that universe, you have to follow your own rules. If you've created this universe and you've passed the baton on to someone else, and they have a different political viewpoint as you, and they want people in wheelchairs to suddenly be important to the story, you got to figure out how to make that work in the universe where wheelchairs are no longer needed. So it's fair. And whether it's a Shelby, like if you're going to in D&D, if you're going to have a damn Mustang show up, then you're going to have some portal from a world where the thing showed up for it to arrive from.
Right. There has to be an explainer.
Yes.
You can't just all of a sudden. So the same thing. So in WoW, in World of Warcraft, they released a patch that was widely criticized by most fans, where all of a sudden the characters had like these stupid wheelchairs. But we've already established for a decade plus that healing potions exist.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Well, why did they? Okay, so
It was political.
this is why it's never good to create content based on your political beliefs.
Right.
That should never be your primary motivation.
Right.
Like you can sit here and say, "Oh, Gene Roddenberry did it." Well, let me tell you something. Gene Roddenberry's primary motivation was to tell interesting stories. It wasn't to be politically motivated.
Mhm.
It just happened to be that his view of the future was that of multiple races all working together.
Utopia.
Because the future, he figured we'd all have progressed to the point where we're all together. Not because Gene Roddenberry necessarily thought that in his time, 1960s, that's the way everything should be. I don't think people realize that Gene Roddenberry was actually pretty huge misogynist and maybe even possibly a little racist.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a product of his times, though, too, right?
But he's a product of his times, and he wasn't thinking about his current time. He was thinking of the future. So when you take your present time frame and you implement it into your fictional world that isn't part of your normal time frame, you are bastardizing that thing that you've created. And regardless of the wonderful, progressiveness that Gene Roddenberry implemented into Star Trek, it's kind of common sense, right? You see, most of us see a hopeful future where the world works together. We would all like to see that. It's not that strange, right? And maybe he was anti-war, and maybe he didn't believe that racism was a good thing. And so he dropped little pieces of that in there. It's a totally different situation than when you put, well, look, we got people that are in wheelchairs playing our game or watching our shows, and we want them to know that they've been seen. And we're going to put them in our game or our show. It's just not the way shit works.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're in a wheelchair. It sucks, but I can't cater to you. The reason you came to hang out with me in the first place is because you thought what I was making was cool,
right.
Not because I was trying to cater to you.
Right, and it doesn't make sense for wheelchairs to exist in the year 3000.
And it doesn't make sense necessarily. Yeah, if you've got a way to keep people from being paralyzed from the waist down, you don't need a wheelchair.
Yeah, we can grow new limbs. Then yeah, you don't need a wheelchair. It's ridiculous that you have one. Right?
Gene's motivator was women and money. Yes, Mark's 47.
Now, people do say, oh, well, the reason why this new character in Star Trek Academy, she has glasses because she likes them. Just like that one dude in Discovery had glasses because he said, and I quote, they make me look smarter and I like them. You know what? Maybe they want glasses. Okay.
That's a choice.
That's a choice. But you're going to tell me that a wheelchair is a choice?
No. If you like, glasses aren't, listen, it's a hindrance to have to wear glasses.
Right.
It took me 50 years, but I finally figured out, oh shit, glasses suck. Right? Now that I've got to wear them when I read, you're not going to choose to wear glasses. Now, maybe they wear designer, maybe as a fashion statement, you wear the kind that that aren't, that's what I would think. You would correct your eyeballs and wear one for fashion, which is kind of ridiculous, but still people do it.
Right. My kid does it, but she's 14, so.
Well, that's what kids do.
Yeah.
But wheelchair, why would you
Right.
intentionally disable yourself?